All right, so arms today, and I was explicitly asked what my favorite triceps exercise were, or even my favorite arm exercise in general, and it is behind the head skull crushers. I think skull crushers in general, if you don't know, are where you lay flat on a bench and you bring the bar down to your forehead, like kind of like it might sound like you're not actually crushing your skull, but that's where the bar's coming down to. My variation is behind the head, and it's a little bit counterintuitive, I think, because it feels like you're swinging the weight, and the truth is you kind of are, like your elbows are moving a little bit, and you end up using a little bit of your lats to help you get the weight up. But I think in my opinion, if I had to do one exercise for triceps, if I had to do one exercise for the arm, it'd be the same one. It would be behind the head skull crusher. So, and I think just like always, I kind of like in my intro video of sorts, I talked about some of my lifting theories and how max OT, I think, is, for a lot of reasons, when it comes to lifting, that type of style is really good. And so one of their basic principles is try to lift between 4 reps and 6 reps. If you can't get 4 reps, then that means the weight is too heavy. If you can get over 6, that means the weight is too light. And generally, you would only add the smallest amount more, like 2.5 each time that you can get 6. You'd add 2.5 pounds. And I think that is for hypertrophy, adding size to your muscle. Being natural is an amazing way to go. But along with that, behind the head, for specifically with arms, the one exercise I think is, honestly, I think it's underrated. I don't think it's talked about enough. It's behind the head skull crushers. And another reason why I think skull crushers period are good for your arms when you come down to the skull, but the difference is the amount of weight that it puts on your elbow it's really hard on that joint, and a lot of bodybuilders have elbow issues, and I believe a lot of those elbow issues are from doing skull crushers. And it's just if you get strong enough, if you get enough strength to actually start pushing heavy weight, which is what of course you want, it's that same thing that's going to probably have a good chance of rooting your elbows. And behind the head skull crushers are one of the ways that I can still get an amazing tricep workout without screwing my elbows over. And I think you see things like some of the other opinions people have when it comes to triceps exercises they think work well are things like close grip bench press, reverse close grip bench press, dips, like weighted dips. And I think those are all good things, but if anecdotally you look at people that lift very heavy weight, do very heavy close grip bench press, do very heavy weighted dips, a lot of them have small triceps. And I think a part of the reason is that a lot of the weight, either some of it goes on the shoulders, but a lot of it ends up on the chest, and they end up getting an awesome chest workout and a not so awesome tricep workout. And I love doing some of those variations on my arms day as well, but I really stick. I very much believe in this, and I think for me personally, I saw the most arm growth and specifically tricep growth from the behind the head skull crusher. And another thing I just want to say here is I do it. I'll definitely demonstrate here, but I do it both grips. So I'll do same when I do bicep curls. I do overhead, overhand and underhand bicep curls, just because it works different parts of the arm. For example, with the behind the head, if you have the back of your hand facing up, your palm facing down, it works more of the outer side of your tricep, and that's what will help if you're looking at someone from the front. That's what will help give you width in your arms, and it's a smaller muscle, but it doesn't take a lot for that to really stand out. And same with shoulders. If you just have a little bit of a peak right here, it adds a ton to you, and your appearance benefits greatly from that. So that's part of the reason why I do definitely try to plan on doing palms down or reverse tricep or skull crushers. And I do the other ones. I usually emphasize, in general, when I work out, I emphasize the heaviest thing first, the strongest, the thing that's going to use the most muscle fibers first, and then I'll get down to fine tuning type stuff later. I basically want all my energy and all my effort to go in the thing that's just going to shock my body the most, give my body essentially the biggest signal source you have to change. And so yeah, we'll start with heavy behind the head, palm up, because you're stronger generally with palm up. Palm up works the inside of your tricep. It is of those 3 tricep muscles, the inside tricep is the biggest. And just in case it's not common knowledge, your triceps are a huge part of that's what makes your arm look big. Of course, you have to have a well-rounded arm. Your biceps have to be there too. But the majority of the size, even though people think of arms, they think of biceps. The majority of the size in your arms come from that inner head of your tricep. And it's kind of weird, because you'll notice someone has big arms. It doesn't necessarily give you tons of definition. It gives you the size when you have the inside, unless you're like actually, flexing or something where you're specifically showing the inside of the arm. It won't really stand out. The 3-dimension, like I said, that extra detail comes from some of the outside of the tricep, and then definitely like your lower bicep, which I'll get into later. Wow, I want to keep these things basic and really simple. So I'm trying to slow myself down because I can talk on any particular topic for a little bit. But anyway, I'm going to do this behind the head skull crusher here. And one thing I'm also an advocate for are wrist straps. Basically, I don't want to be slowed down by wrist strength. Like if I'm working on my triceps, I don't want my limiting, my wrist to be my limiting bottleneck of sorts when it comes to it. I don't want my workout to be hindered because of my wrists. I want to be able to give it every last ounce that I've got in me. I do think, of course, you want to be proportionate, and you want to have, all the way through your system. You want every connecting joint and muscle to be strong. But in my opinion, when it comes to hypertrophy, especially for natural, and I know I emphasize that a lot. I honestly do think, I don't know if I have to say honestly, but I do think that there is a difference in someone that is taking growth hormones, or taking steroids or hormones in general, specifically anabolic, and what someone natural would do. I think they're different things. The body reacts more strongly one way or the other. That you can get away with things, and you can have a different mode of attack and different strategies and principles to go from when you're using steroids. And I think a lot of the confusion, because you see these huge people that are on drugs saying what they do, and they're telling the complete truth. But the thing is, when you're on drugs, what works well, like for example, I think when you're on drugs, oftentimes higher reps make you go farther. And I think when you're natural, oftentimes it's actually lower reps that will get you more mass faster. And so it gets really confusing. There's a lot of misinformation, a lot of conflicting information out there. Anyway, back to it. Yeah, I use straps. So let me get my straps on, and then I'll record this. All right, so hopefully this isn't too particularly heavy for me, but this is the palm up, behind the head, reverse grip, or obviously behind the head, palm up, skull crusher here. So yeah, I just pop my straps on there. You don't have to with straps, like I said, but I'm a fan of them. Okay, here we go. All right, so hopefully that gives the basic idea. I would honestly not say that my form is perfect, but I think it's good enough that it gives you the idea. Basically, the part you want to avoid is you want to avoid an incredibly sharp angle right here. So, for example, if I was laying flat on the bench, I was coming down to my forehead, this angle's really tight and it puts tons of strain on your elbow. So I'm actually trying when I go behind my head to let my elbow come back, and as I come up, that's when I, obviously your tricep, it pulls to the backside of your arm, so it's pulling your arm up. So you want to let it, when you come back, you want to let your elbow come back. Then as you get right here, that last part, that's really the main part where of the lift where your triceps come into play. So that's you want to be focusing, you want to mentally be thinking of your triceps when you're doing those, and that will really help you get the most out of the workout. But just realize that when you're going behind your head, let your elbows come back towards your head, and that'll help your elbows last a long time. You don't want to have messed up elbows. You don't want to not be able to work out your triceps because your elbows are messed up, and that happens a lot. I'm just going to do that again because actually I'm going to put some more weight on, then I'm going to do that again. All right, here we go, some more weight. I'm not sure. Like I said, I want to get 4 reps. This is going to be pushing it for me. I'm not sure if I'll be able to get 4 good quality reps with this, but I'm going to push myself. I'm going to give it what I got. Use my straps. It's always interesting putting straps on like this. Like I said, my goal is at least 4, and I might even cheat if I can to make it up.